What's up everybody, Nick here with the F80. We're going to do the traction links in the rear. Alright, so first a quick recap of what is a traction link. So we got a couple upper links here, upper control arm. This can be adjustable for camber as well, but your lower control arm where the spring is sitting, that is where your camber adjustment comes from stock. You got your toe link in the back, that is aftermarket. Basically get an aftermarket toe link if you want to run even mild negative camber in the back. This large one here on the bottom is the traction link, the lower traction link or main traction link. What a traction link does is when the wheel tries to move forward, it transfers that forward movement of the wheel to the chassis. So similar on the front, you've got a traction link for when the car is braking. All that braking force that the tire is generating on the ground is being transferred to the chassis to slow the car down. Otherwise the wheel would slam into the fender and destroy the car. And the arm that keeps that wheel stable is the traction link. On the front for braking is the highest force that it'll see. In the back, braking and acceleration. So the rubber bushings will allow your wheel to get into potentially bad toe settings during acceleration, during hard braking. So that toe link will just keep your alignment much more consistent through those heavier acceleration and braking forces, which you may not see on the street, but you definitely will see on the track. All right, now moving over to the other side, I have started the removal and replacement of the traction link. You can see here we've got the stock link with the rubber bushings and then the aftermarket SPL traction link with the solid Heim joints. So I couldn't find anything online on actually like what is needed to get to this point. I noticed as soon as I got the car up that the traction link was sandwiched between the subframe and this lower reinforcement plate. And so this is just explaining what you need to do to get the traction link out. So first you take this plastic cover out. And these are the associated bolts or plastic clips, the black ones. These are just the regular push pin clips. And then there are a couple Torx, plastic Torx bolts. So you take the plastic cover off, and then after the plastic cover, you will fully expose this lower reinforcement plate or frame. And essentially they're just two bolts, a nut that is attaching it to the bottom of the traction link and the subframe, and then you've got the two 6mm bolts over there that attach it to the exhaust plate, the little cross plate that sits under the exhaust, and then a Torx, a large Torx, I think a 45, that holds it to the chassis on this end as well. So once you remove it, you will expose this bolt. This is what holds the traction link to the subframe. So the traction link sits here, and this goes all into the subframe, and then your reinforcement plate bolts onto here. So you pop this bolt off, I think it's a 15 or a 14mm, and then this is a 24mm. You need a deep socket for that. And then once you pop this out, your traction link is freed from the subframe, and then the bolt that's holding it to the knuckle, to the upright, is just your regular, like this is an E10 or whatever that BMW likes to use. So the other tip is once you've got this freed, it's not going to come out with the suspension fully drooped. So you have to put a jack under it and raise your suspension almost pretty much as far as it'll go before you start lifting the car off the jack. I use the hockey puck so that there's a soft surface, and once it's almost fully compressed, you can wiggle the traction link out. But until I was able to do that, I could not get the traction link out. All right, so those are a couple tips on what is a traction link, what do you need to remove to get it out, and then once you've removed those parts, what do you need to do so that it'll easily come off your multi-link rear suspension.